The city was packed with visitors. Every hotel lobby was crowded, every parking lot was full, and every "no vacancy" sign seemed to crush another person's hope. As the sun slowly disappeared behind the tall buildings, a young woman stood outside one last hotel with tears filling her eyes. She looked at the front desk and whispered, "Please. I have 11 hours to reach my sister's wedding." She wasn't asking for luxury. She wasn't asking for special treatment. She was simply asking for one chance. What happened next reminded everyone in that hotel that the smallest act of kindness can change someone's life forever. Before we begin this heartwarming story, welcome to Kindness Story. If stories like this make you smile, inspire you, or remind you that good people still exist, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment sharing the kindest thing someone has ever done for you. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that bring hope into everyday life. Emily had been driving across 3 states to attend her younger sister Olivia's wedding in Chicago. The sisters had always been close. After their parents passed away years earlier, they had leaned on each other through every challenge. Olivia often said that Emily wasn't just her sister. She was her best friend. But halfway through the trip, Emily's car broke down on a lonely highway. The repair shop needed several hours to fix it. By the time she finally got back on the road, traffic had become much worse because of a huge convention happening in the city. Every hotel room had been booked for weeks. Emily had already driven for nearly 12 hours. She was exhausted. Her phone battery was almost dead, and she knew it wasn't safe to keep driving through the night. She decided to check one last hotel before giving up. Inside the lobby, people were checking in, talking loudly, and pulling heavy suitcases across the marble floor. Emily walked slowly to the front desk. "I know this is a long shot," she said softly. "Do you have any rooms available?" The receptionist, a middle-aged man named Daniel, looked at his computer and sighed. "I'm so sorry," he replied kindly. "We're completely sold out." Emily nodded politely. She tried to smile, but the disappointment was impossible to hide. "I understand," she whispered. "I have 11 hours to reach my sister's wedding tomorrow morning. I just hoped I could rest for a few hours." Daniel watched as she turned away. Something about her face stayed with him. She didn't seem angry or demanding. She simply looked tired, worried, and heartbroken. At that moment, another employee walked behind the desk carrying fresh towels. She quietly asked Daniel what was wrong. He explained the situation. The employee smiled gently. "What about room 418? Daniel looked surprised. "That's reserved for the hotel manager. He isn't arriving until tomorrow afternoon," she reminded him. "Maybe we can ask." Daniel immediately picked up the phone. A few minutes later, he smiled. The manager said yes. Daniel hurried toward Emily before she reached the exit. "Excuse me." She turned around. "We found a room." Emily blinked in surprise. "I thought you were sold out." "We were," Daniel said with a smile. "But our manager agreed to let you use his reserved room tonight." Emily covered her mouth with both hands. "Are you serious?" "We're serious." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I don't even know how to thank you." "You already have," Daniel replied. "Sometimes helping someone is thanks enough." Emily slept peacefully for the first time in nearly 24 hours. The next morning she woke up early, refreshed, and ready to finish the final part of her journey. Before leaving, she stopped by the front desk. "I'll never forget what you did," she said. Daniel smiled. "Just make it to your sister's wedding." Emily arrived only 30 minutes before the ceremony began. Olivia saw her walking into the church and immediately burst into tears. "I thought you weren't going to make it," Olivia cried as she hugged her tightly. "I almost didn't," Emily admitted. The sisters held each other for a long moment before joining the rest of the family. The wedding was beautiful. Laughter filled the room. Friends danced. Families celebrated. Emily couldn't stop smiling because she knew none of it would have happened without the kindness of complete strangers. A week later, Daniel was working another busy evening at the hotel when a delivery truck arrived. It wasn't luggage. It was dozens of pizzas, sandwiches, desserts, and drinks. Attached to the boxes was a handwritten note. To the amazing staff who reminded me that kindness still exists. A man stepped out wearing a heavy winter coat. "Need some help?" he asked. Together they pushed the car free. Daniel thanked him and reached for his wallet. The man shook his head. "No payment. At least let me buy you dinner." The stranger smiled. "Someone helped my daughter when she was traveling alone last year. She made it to an important family event because of strangers who cared. I'm just passing that kindness forward." Daniel smiled without saying another word. He realized kindness had traveled farther than anyone could imagine. One simple decision to open a hotel room had started a chain of compassion that continued touching lives. Years later, Emily often shared the story with her own children. Whenever they asked if good people still existed, she would smile and tell them about